Yo, everybody, welcome to another episode of Family Reflections. As you can see, the setup is a little different. Today is just you and me. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that caused it to be just us. And I have some stuff to talk about, I have some stuff to tell you. And so it's not a big deal. I think we'll have some fun. I'm looking forward to the conversation with you. In fact, I think this is a good opportunity for us to cover some things that we normally can't cover, or we normally don't get the chance to cover when we have a guest on board or a guest on the show. So yeah, this is a good chance to do that. So before I get into anything else, I want to kind of tell y'all where I am right now. I want to tell y'all where I am right now and how I ended up here talking to y'all, right? So, as we speak, I'm looking out the window at Pigeon Point. And if you're from St. Lucia, you know, me looking at Pigeon Point means I'm in Grosile. Yeah, it's a very nice view. I wish I could show y'all. Actually, maybe I can show y'all. I'll try to put a little clip in here to show y'all what I'm talking about. But it's a very nice view, and here's how I ended up here. So on what day was it? I believe it was Thursday morning. The reason I can't remember the day is because I was supposed to come on Friday, but instead I ended up traveling on Thursday. Because the airline, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening right now, and travel, the way we knew travel is not the same right now, right? And I'll get into that. So on Thursday morning, I left my house in Boston. Some of you may know, some of you may not know that I've been based in Boston for the last 5 years or so. And this year, I decided to move down to St. Lucia. And I'm really happy about that decision because it's something that I thought about for a while. It's something that I wanted to do. And I'm looking forward to the journey ahead for both Iyanola Pictures and myself as we work together, as I work with Iyanola Pictures in St. Lucia. We have a lot of stuff coming your way. We have comedy, we have short films, sketches, the works. So, honestly, if you're watching this right now and you like Iyanola Pictures, go to our website. I'll just put it will pop up. It'll be in the caption or description wherever you're watching this. But go to our website, www.iyanolapictures.com. Make sure you join our mailing list. And so that way you don't miss out on what we're doing, because we don't want you to miss out, okay? But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to a lot of the work we're going to do. And anyway, back to the story. So, bright and early Thursday morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, I left my house and I went to the airport. I had all these things with me to travel with. And as soon as you get to the airport, everybody has their mask on. Which, if you're watching this, you're probably saying, I would hope so, right? Yeah. But let me tell you the annoying thing, though. The annoying thing is, when you see people, I have to make sure my mic, when you see people, they have their mask on, but, hold on. Let me get my mask to show you, hold on. They have their mask on, like this. What is this? Why are you doing this? What? Yo! It's so annoying. Why do you think it's okay to hold your mask like this? What's the point of the mask? Because at that point, it's just a facial attraction you have on there, you know. Like, really, all you have is a facial attraction. You might as well just be wearing an earring on your nose or something. Lord boy. But yeah, so there were a lot of people doing that. Some people had those loose masks, where like it's just hanging off your nose. It's not tight at all. It's just hanging there. But I guess that's still kind of effective. At least more effective than the people that have it under the nose. But yeah, there were different people wearing their mask in different ways in Boston, especially. Everybody at least had something on their face, right? And I wasn't playing. I had double mask. Yo, I had double mask on. I had this thing right here, and then on top of that, I had this surgical, medical, whatever mask on top of it, and I ended up paying for it later because these things, like when you put two of them together, you get more force on your ears. So when I got to the place I'm at right now, my ears were really hurt, you know. So I paid for it, but still, I feel like it was a good little extra precaution, you know, just in case the COVID come running after me. But anyway, so I get to the airport, I check in, everybody has their mask, I get to my gate, I get on the flight. There were not a lot of people on the flight at first. I'm sitting in my seat, and you know, people come in, walking in. I'm expecting that in the seats on the flights, it's going to be social distancing, right? You can't have people sitting right next to each other during COVID times. Yeah, there was a man sitting right next to me. And then right next to him, our whole row was filled, right? And there were other rows filled. I mean, we had our mask on, but the rows were filled. Now, I was flying from Boston to Florida. So at first, you know, I'm sitting there like, wow, boy, you know, they have Diamond sitting right next to me. I just hope I don't catch the Rona on this flight. But thankfully, the guy was uncomfortable, I guess, because he was a tall guy, a lanky partner, you know, all that man arms long, you know your long fellas. So yeah, he ended up having to stand up and go sit somewhere else. So it was just me and one other person in the row. But still, the main point is they're not social distancing on these flights, you know, they just have people sitting right next to each other. And, you know, sometimes people taking off masks to eat and stuff. But for the most part, you know, people had their mask on. You all know there's a little fun thing that they have on the plane to keep you cool, or what's the purpose of that little fun thing? You all know? I don't know. But yeah, I always turn that off because they say the air inside of the fuselage or airplane, that's just recycled air. I know some fresh air comes in. I don't know the details of the HVAC behind that, but yeah, I always turn that off. So yeah, I turned it off. We fly to Florida now. Now, I was nervous flying into Florida, okay, because y'all know Florida is the hot spot of the world right now when it comes to quarantine. As to how they got that way, I can't even really say. But right now they're the hot spot of the world when it comes to quarantine, and I was kind of worried about flying in and connecting in Miami, but I didn't have a choice. I had to get home. I had to talk to y'all. So I flew in to Miami. Now here's what you would expect, right? You fly into Miami, it's the hot spot of the coronavirus. You expect things to be stringent. You expect to see guards everywhere. You know, you might even see some police with bulletproof vests with their mask trying to keep things under control. Yo, people were walking around with no mask in Florida, you know, at the airport there. They had people, I walked past a couple of restaurants. There were people in the restaurants with no mask on, just cooling out, drinking tea, filled with COVID. People were just cooling out like nothing was happening. A lot of people did have masks, you know, I'll say that. But again, a good amount of them was like this, under the nose. So I was walking through the terminal there with my bag, you know, trying to avoid the Rona, avoid the COVID, dodging it. And I finally got to my gate. And it was the same thing as the flight leaving Boston, but the only difference was this one was a little more socially distanced. Probably because there were just less people going to St. Lucia from the flight from Miami to Florida, from Boston to Florida. Sorry. Yeah, but it was an interesting trip. Huh? I remember when I went to like boarding the plane from Florida to St. Lucia. I was happy nobody was sitting next to me. And then something occurred to me while I was watching the people coming onto the plane, onto the flight. I'm watching the people file in, and at first, here's what I was expecting. I'm expecting, okay, this is a time, just like me, a lot of returning residents want to go home, okay? So people are ready to go home. This flight will be full of Lucians, you know? When we get on the plane there, you know, say, Lucia, we love, right? That's what we're doing. Everybody on the flight, they say, Lucians, we're going home. But then I start seeing tourists. Tourist 1 pass, Tourist 2 pass. And then I just had to sit and ask myself, where boy, where them people going? I don't want to get in trouble, alright? I don't want to get in trouble with y'all. But I really had to sit and ask myself, where they going? Like, now is not the time for, like, okay, tell me if I'm wrong. Do you feel like you want to be going on vacation right now? With all that's happening in the world? You feel like you want to get on a flight and go on vacation? I know you're tired of being home. All of us are tired of being home. Okay? I was tired of being home. But, so that's why I came home. But, do you really feel like now is the safest, best time for you to leave your house and go on vacation? But anyway, you know, yes, I understand that for a lot of Caribbean countries, St. Lucia included, we depend on tourism heavily. So I guess I should be appreciating the people that are still coming to visit our shores. But still, I'm being honest, it's just you and I talking today. Yo, it was a little, I was laughing. Where y'all going? Like, y'all could just stay home. Like, now is the best time for a staycation. Okay? You don't need to be... I feel like there's no need to be boarding a plane and going to sit in quarantine in somebody else's country. I don't know. Or do I know? I'm just talking to y'all. We're just talking. Alright? So, yeah, so that was something I was thinking while I was on the flight. Anyway, the flight goes by, I slept, whatever. And then I landed in St. Lucia. First of all, shout out to the authorities in St. Lucia that set up the quarantine process and all that stuff. I find it's very nicely organized, very well executed. You know, as soon as we got off the plane, there was a lady there with a piece of hand sanitizer in your face. Yeah, put that in your... That's not exactly how it happened, but when we got off the plane, as soon as we stepped off, there was a ramp. As soon as you step off the ramp, there's a hand sanitizer station. They ask you for your results. I gave them my results. Then you have to go for vetting. So the lady will look at you. She'll say, okay, where are your results? As soon as she sees your results, you confirm that you registered. Then she puts a band on your hand, right? And yeah, that band tells you what you're going to do for the next 2 weeks. So as soon as she watched me, she looked at me, she said, okay, you have your results? Okay, 14-day quarantine. Bam. So I go like to tell you, it was, I mean, I was kind of hoping that I would do a shorter time, maybe a 7 days, but I wasn't mad at it because at the end of the day, the way I see it, I'm keeping the country safe by quarantining myself in case, you know, one of those people with the mask under their nose. Not the people without mask. Yo, I'm less upset at the people without mask than I am upset at the people with the mask under their nose like this. I understand you want to breathe. You want to be comfortable. But my gosh, man, like, it's not making sense, buddy. If you have the mask on, put it over your nose. That is what the mask is for. Please. But anyway, so I got my 14-day quarantine. I went through customs and all that. Now, this is the most exciting part. Yo, so after going through customs, right? As soon as I step outside, the man walk up to me, he say, "Hey, sir." He look at my band. One time, he tell me, "All right, so you're going to be getting on this coach right here." So I got on the coach. It was me and some other Lucians. And, you know, they put all our bags on the coach. And I could see that we'd be having a police escort. So we left Iyanola. We riding behind the police escort. Full siren blazing on the coach. So then, yo, it was like, y'all ever see the Fast and Furious movies? That's how I was feeling, you know, on the coach there. the coach driver pushing that, and the police in front of us pushing. You understand? No joke. Like, yo, sirens blazing. We're pulling vehicles aside. No stopping. Full speed ahead. We're going up north from Iyanola airport there, right? And yeah, it was very exciting. When we got to Dennery, we had the first set of officers that transported us from the airport were SSU officers. When we got to Dennery, they had a van. They handed us over to two officers on motorcycles. And these guys were even more of a pleasure to watch than the SSU, because, yo, when these fellas get to some corners, they punning that on the side, punning that on the next side. When they have to pull vehicles aside, it's almost like they're ready to slap the drivers. Yo, yeah, man, it was exciting, huh? And we got up north in record time. Now, I was grateful for this. Not that they were slapping drivers in front of us, but I was grateful because I was tired, okay? I was tired from the drive, you know, the drive to the airport 4 o'clock in the morning, the flight to Miami, the flight from Miami to Lucia, carrying my bags, all my stuff. Because, you know, if I'm moving here, y'all know I have a lot of bags and stuff to carry. So I was happy about the police escort to get up here to Rodney Bay quick to get to the quarantine. Now, let me tell you what happened when we get to the quarantine, right? So they took me to Starfish Hotel, which I didn't know about until the quarantine, until I got here. When I reached here, you know, the people, they took my temperature. They again looked at my results again, which I appreciate. I appreciate the foreigners, because we could have COVID rampant in St. Lucia. Yeah, I know there's a case number 25 right now, I think, and possible community spread. I know the police doing contact tracing and all that. But, you know, like, we can't have COVID spreading in St. Lucia. If y'all see me looking at the camera, I'm looking to make sure it doesn't die on me, because I don't want to be talking to myself. I want to keep y'all here with me. But anyway, when we got there, they took my temperature, checked my results and everything. And they took me to my room. And I'm in this room now. I have to be here for the next, I think 10 more days at this point. Because I got here on Thursday and they said 14 days. So if you count Thursday, it's 10 more days. If you count Thursday, I can't count, so. But hopefully the lady told me that if I don't have any symptoms, because they check you every day. They check in my temperature in the morning and at night. And they give us 3 square meals a day. So right now I feel like I'm incarcerated, you know. Incarcerated right now there, you know. But I'm grateful for it, man, because we have to protect the country, you know? We have to protect the country. All of us have to play our part. And for me, I feel like this is my way of playing my part. I don't know how many other Caribbean countries are open right now, but if they do open, I think they should definitely consider this format. But I go like to tell y'all, the quarantine is easier. For me, I'm happy to be talking to y'all. But if I wasn't doing this episode, I would just be calling out here. So I have to try and find ways to keep busy to make the time pass by. So thankfully, I have a lot of different ventures that I'm involved in. So there's a lot of things that I can put my energies towards. But if you're stuck in quarantine and you don't have that, you might feel a type of way, because you might feel a little bored, just sitting by yourself all the time. But there's different things, like there's things I'm grateful for and things I'm not too grateful for. For example, the TV cable, it's scruffy. Yeah, the cable ain't that good, everybody, at all. Yeah, the cable could use a little work. So I don't even watch the cable. The next thing is the Wi-Fi. It's scruffy. And then, I don't want to seem like I'm just complaining. I'm just telling y'all what my experience has been. There's good parts and bad parts. On Thursday night, when I arrived, I was looking around for him to plug my phone charger or something into the wall, to make sure, I have power so I can do stuff like this. Yo, everything was that direct 240 volts. Like, you can't plug anything into anything. So I called a front desk, like, hey guys, can I get an adapter or something? Because I could charge my phone, I could use any electricity. They tell me, sorry sir, we've given away all our adapters. Yo, I had to be making calls, asking family to try and check me or try and deliver a package, because you can only deliver packages here between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. So I had to try to organize a way. Thankfully, I have people here that could help me out. So thankfully, I was able to do that. That way, I could do this episode. But if not for that, it would look scruffy for me, boy. Yeah, it would look real scruffy. But anyway, I'm thankful that I'm here, thankful for the quarantine, we're protecting the country, and thankful that I was able to travel with not too many problems. Shout out to American Airlines. I appreciate you for that. Something I've been thinking about lately, and this was something Eleanor mentioned on the last episode, is kind of the psychological effects of COVID-19. I know everybody, as human beings, we know that we have to try to do with what we have, right? We just have to try to do with what we have. But I think there might be some long-standing effects that people don't really know, people aren't really thinking about. One of them is the isolation. So for me, I could not imagine how this would all play out if we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have Zoom. Yo, I know everybody loves Zoom now. If we didn't have Zoom, if we didn't have Google Meetings and all these video conferencing applications, you would not be seeing anybody for months, What would happen to the world if we had no internet and you could just not see anybody for months, right? More than anything, this shows that we are all social creatures. We are social people, and we need people around us. We need that social interaction, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, and I'm both, so I can speak for both. You need that, man. Honestly. But the only thing I'm worried about is what will it look like after, when it's okay now for us to be around each other and it's okay for us to have that interaction. What will that look like? Because I think some people might just say, No, I prefer the video conferencing. I prefer the video calling. I don't really want to be around people. There might be some people that say that. And already the world was moving more towards isolation and people being in their own silos and stuff like that. And I hope that we continue to be aware of the value of just being around somebody, being physically around somebody. You understand? That's what I hope for, you know? Now, folks, let me tell you a little secret. We were going to surprise y'all, you know, on this episode. Y'all had a surprise waiting for y'all in this episode. But unfortunately, things happened. We had the introduction of a new co-host, a brand new co-host, so you don't have to see this face only bi-weekly. Yeah, I was excited for her to join us. Yes, it's a she. I know some of the ladies don't like hearing from men all the time, you know. I know my voice is annoying. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I can take it. But yeah, I was excited for her to join us, and she was excited too. But unfortunately, something happened last minute. You know, she wanted to push through, you know, because it was something medically related, you know. And she really wanted to push through and still be on the episode. Up till about 2 hours ago, she was checking me like, hey, you know, I still want to see if I can do it. But nah, man, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work out, you know. And that's unfortunate. But unfortunately, you know, yeah, hopefully she can join us on August 17th. August 17th, let me check that. Because we do this every other week. So yeah, so me saying all this stuff here, and this episode will be released on August 3rd. Can y'all believe we're already in August though? That's crazy to me that we're already in August. But yeah, so this episode will air on August 3rd. And then we're going to have the new co-hosts, hopefully, on August 17th and August 31st. And then the other week after that. And then the other week after that again. Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good time. Now, folks, I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to sit here for an hour like the regular episode and tell y'all all these things and keep talking. But, you know, it's just unfortunate that she wasn't able to join us, and I hope she gets better. And you all should be hoping that she gets better too, because I'm telling you, you're going to love the new co-host. I promise you that. Now, I've been hearing a lot of talk in the media. This is the last thing before I close out. I've been hearing a lot of talk in the media about nations reopening and people not being happy about St. Lucia being open to visitors. Folks, let me tell y'all, I wanted to come at my home. Yo, I wanted to come home. I was watching y'all saying that from Boston, and I was like, well, boy, please, Father Shasny, do not close the border. Don't close the border. I want to come home. Folks, honestly, I believe just by me being by myself in this hotel, like, what would the visitors, like, how would the visitors infect anybody? There's no way I can infect anybody. I'm in my room. You understand? If I had COVID, it's just me and the COVID dancing together. I'm in my room. I don't think us being open to visitors right now is a big problem because of the way it's being handled. We have police on motorbikes just swinging in corners, telling people to get out of the way so that we could have, so they can bring people to quarantine quickly. All right? So we should be all right. Anyway, folks, I'm off the line. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Family Reflections. The next episode, we'll be back to normal, but thankfully we got some time to chat today. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. We're going to have the brand new co-host, hopefully. Let's pray for that. And have a nice week. Cheers.